Hello, I'm Janice Bowrer from the film crew. We're here today to continue our video portrait series, and I am with Colleen and David Hardie from the U3A Rockingham Branch. Very much loved people from the Rockingham Branch. Hello and good morning.
Good morning.
Seeing as we're going to be talking about U3A, tell us how you got involved.
Well, when we moved to Western Australia, David went back to work and I was at home. And after we'd built the house the following year, I thought, well, I've got to find something to do, meet some friends, because the only people we knew in Western Australia was our family. And I already knew about U3A, so I went online, found where the Rockingham branch was, and went along to their first meeting of the year in 2014. And I met a really close friend there that first month, and we were really good friends until she passed away a couple of years ago. Yeah.
You said you'd already heard of U3A. Where was that though? It wasn't in WA, was it?
No, in my working life I used to, I'd been invited to do talks to Albury U3A in New South Wales, plus my sister was a member of the branch up at Toronto, south of Newcastle. So I'd actually been with her to one of her poetry groups when I'd been visiting her.
You mentioned your work. I'd like to ask you both, what did you do in your working lives before you retired?
I had varied careers. I started out as a school teacher, and then I worked for the ANZ Bank when I didn't survive Liverpool Girls High. And then when we moved to Albury, I saw an ad for trainee nurses. And at that stage, people had been saying to me, if you really want a job, you can get a job. So I used to apply for every job in the paper that there was. And surprise, surprise, I got accepted to be a trainee nurse. And so then I was a nurse for 28 years.
Okay, what did you do, David?
The main part of it, I was a school teacher. So I trained in as soon as I left school, and moved from Sydney, my first posting, to Liverpool Boys next door to Colleen. She was at Liverpool Girls. At that stage we were already married. So we were supernumeraries at that school. Then I got moved to Bonnyrigg High School, which was about 3 kilometres down the road. Then we went to Newcastle, West Wallsend High School. Then we went to Albury. Didn't know, hadn't been to Albury. Thought we'd stay maybe 3 years if we liked it. 33 years later I retired from there.
Right, just hold it for a moment. You said you were married by that time, or way back a few comments. I also think I heard somewhere that you guys met very young and you've been together ever since. And I won't mention the number of years, but hey, tell us a little bit about how did you meet? And
we were in the same science class in Year 11, I think. And,
in school.
But we used to, a group of us used to have parties, and we sort of met, I think, at the party at Christine Walsh's place. Was the first one that I remember you coming to. Yeah.
I wasn't a party animal, but anyway. So we got together in Year 11 and have been together ever since.
That is truly amazing and wonderful. Well done. Well done.
1968, yes.
That's when you were married, was it?
No, we got married in 1970. But 1968 we were in Year 11.
In Year 11. Oh, it's terrific. School teaching was strong background, nursing, but what other hobbies did you have? I think photography was included in that at some point, or still is.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Both have had an interest in photography. Yes.
Anything in particular?
For me, mostly just the family and holidays. I guess the Doe takes lots of photos. Excuse me.
Yes. I've, particularly since I've retired, but I've always had photography as one of my interests, even as a 9-year-old. I was taking photos when we lived in a little country town up in northern New South Wales. And started with a box brownie, and worked my way through to a Canon R8, same as yours now. But I only moved on to that because my previous camera got stolen.
Oh, okay. What other hobbies do you have? I did notice at one point there was a red MG in your garage.
Yes, there is. When I first left school, I was working a holiday job at BHP in Newcastle, and one of the apprentices gave me a ride home from work one afternoon in his yellow MGB, and I thought one day I'll get one of those. So many years later, Colleen bought me the MG in the middle of our daughters getting married, and I've had a restoration on it and been working on it ever since, and it still goes.
That's good.
28 years you've had the MG.
In spite of my ministrations, it still works.
Do you drive it around locally, or?
Yeah, 2 years ago I was the president of the MG Car Club of Western Australia. So we have, or they have runs every couple of weeks. We have an annual run called the Safety Fast Run, which we participate in each year, and that's a weekend away somewhere, usually south. Go away and drive around very long, tortuous roads to get to some place we could have got to in an hour. So Colleen reckons we should just take shortcuts, but anyway, I keep on explaining to her, it's about the journey, it's not about the destination.
When he first got the MG, we joined the Riverina.
This is Maisie, by the way. Say hello to Maisie.
Hello, Maisie.
You can sit down, you know. Carry on, yes.
Yes, we joined the Riverina Sports Club in Albury, Sports Car Association in Albury, when we first got the car, and that's where we got involved in. You were president of that.
I was president of that one too, yeah.
I was secretary at one stage, and we also did the events, organising the events for the RASCA. Yeah.
Other than photography, I have seen a photo of you playing the soprano sax. Do you still do that?
No.
Were you in a band?
I was.
Did you try to be in a band?
I was. It's an interesting story. My children were playing in the Albury High School band, and I'd have to wait for them of an afternoon because they were at the same school I was at. So I'd be hanging around waiting for them to finish their band practice, and eventually I got talking to the band mistress and her husband, and they had a spare baritone saxophone sitting there doing nothing. So I thought, well, I can't read music, I've never played a musical instrument, I'll sit up the back and play oompa. And that's basically what I did. So I started learning to play this baritone saxophone. I had a few lessons on it, and then eventually I was in the Albury City Band, playing the saxophone with my kids. One was on flute, drums, anything else that made a noise, and the other one was on trumpet. So we went along and played a bit of music and stuff there over the weekend and during the week. And we also had one of the guys that taught me was a bloke called Harry Walker. He had a little band that used to go to the old people's homes and play once a month. And so we'd sit down and play an interesting array of music very badly, which the old folks were deaf enough to still appreciate. And then we'd have afternoon tea and then head on and say, yeah, we've been in a few bands.
And your time wasn't filled up yet because you even had time for umpiring Aussie rules, I believe. Tell us about that.
In the Riverina Umpires Association, I did field umpiring for, I don't know, how many years?
2 or 3 years. It wasn't a long time, was it? I can't remember.
Anyway, I think I got to 100 games, didn't I?
I don't know. Our neighbour got involved in that.
Yeah. My neighbour was deeply into it. He was an A-grade umpire in the Albury in the Murray League, and so he said, "Oh, you want to get fit? Just come and have a run with us." I think the next weekend I was on a game, So,
But you followed the game anyway, so you would have had an understanding of most of the rules.
Not according to the people on the other side of the fence, but
Well, that hasn't changed over the years.
No. So, currently I'm still doing goal umpiring with the Perth Football League. So
Okay.
Saturday afternoon I'll be down at Baldiva Sports Ground doing the league and the Rezzies game down there on the goals.
No time for surfing?
No.
That was in your history somewhere, I think.
Yes, that was your 60th birthday.
60th birthday present, yeah. My daughter decided that I should learn to ride a surfboard, so she gave me a gift of a series of surf lessons. Remarkably unsuccessful.
Yes. And yes, carry on. How did it end?
Not well. I didn't injure myself with the board, but I came off it more than I managed to get on it.
Our daughter was always, she got him into doing triathlon at one stage, and snow skiing, and yes.
So now you're back here in WA like the grey-haired mob and caravanning all over the place. How did that all start? Was it something you had planned, or did it just happen after you retired?
We've always had an interest in caravans and camping and stuff, so we've done that. I don't know how many caravans we had.
We bought the first one in 1975, so we've always done some caravan. We used to do caravanning with our daughters as well. David was a Boy Scout in his youth, and he always loved going camping. We tried tents, but caravans are a bit more comfortable.
Less creepy crawlies.
Okay, let's move forward to your membership of Rockingham U3A. You absolutely love it, don't you? Obviously. But I want to talk about the COVID years. It was very difficult for everybody, but you, I think, the pair of you were unique in the U3A scene in WA, where you sent travellogues to everybody in Rockingham and with wonderful stories about some of your travels. What gave you that idea?
Well, that was all Colleen doing all that work, not me.
Oh, aren't you kind?
I'm trying to think. I sort of sent out an email and decided that I'm not quite sure how my thought processes went. I think I was sort of concerned with the social isolation of some of our members that are living on their own, and sent out an email, and my theme to start off with was the cat travelling around the world. And like most people, I thought, this isolation is only going to last a few weeks. So I thought I'll send an email, and then it got where after a couple of weeks, I'd sent them every day. I thought, well, I should keep on doing that. So each night, usually just before midnight, I'd send off the one so it was there for them when they woke up in the morning. And I soon got tired of trying to superimpose the cat in the photos. So I would either talk about a trip and send some photos, or sometimes I'd send puzzles and with the results, with the answers the next day, and things like that. And actually, I was surprised at how, I think that's why I kept on doing it, because I was getting replies from people saying how much they look forward to it, because it was something to break up the day. And so I think I worked out I'd sent over 100 emails by the time U3A recommenced.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, but when it did and we could all get together at the meetings, people talked about it and how they looked forward to your next one, and if it didn't come, what were you doing? They really appreciated that. It was a wonderful idea of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I should mention that one of the things that Colleen did in her past times was she went and trained as a counsellor with, who was the group?
A diabetes educator, you know.
No, the counselling.
Oh, when I did Lifeline.
Lifeline.
Okay.
When we were in Albury. So she was very conscious of the social isolation that older people face. And so the role of U3A in overcoming that isolation is something that we understand very well. And so she understood that people that were sitting back in their homes, particularly our members, were not able to go out and have their normal social interaction. So she could see a role for that, I think, as underlying the thoughts that were going on at the time.
Yes, you find that nearly every group finishes their group get-together with going for coffee. Yes, it's
that cup of tea thing.
Yes, the chance to chat, and that's what we find at the our meetings, that we used to have a table with just for any people that couldn't sort of stand. But when I was doing the afternoon teas for Rockingham, we extended the table and made it quite long because and everyone sits around it and has a chat with their cup of tea. Yes,
I remember. You mentioned to me a while ago that every organisation you joined and you took positions on their committees, and it never stopped. And I think you, Colleen, have held just about every position in any organisation you've belonged to, haven't you?
Usually secretary. I used to think I had it tattooed on my forehead. Yes, it started when the girls went to kindergarten, joined the PNC, and then up secretary of the PNC. And I don't
After
think,
the first meeting.
yes,
She'd invariably go to the first meeting of anything she went to and come home secretary.
yes. Because the guy, George Jelligan, who was the principal, had approached me and asked me to be secretary of the tennis club, because we lived in a little country town just south of Newcastle. And when I went to the PNC meeting, he nominated me for secretary of the PNC. I said, you said the tennis club? He said, yes, and the PNC. So, yes.
Multitasking.
Yes.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've done an awful lot of voluntary work over your life. And I know you've received some awards for that. Could you tell me about those?
I've got the... here in Rockingham.
Or anywhere, but yes, Rockingham too.
Because with the Border Music Camp, we were made life members of the Border Music Camp quite a few years ago now. And I got nominated for volunteers. I'm not sure what it's called, but yeah, and got a certificate for that. And then the certificate of appreciation from U3A. Yeah.
Well done. Volunteering is such an important part of life, particularly as you get old. Not particularly when you get older, but it is, I think, a great thing for your own psyche and that to help and take part voluntarily.
Well, when we first moved to Albury, I didn't know anybody, and I joined the Newcomers Club, which the Rotary had set up this Newcomers Club because Albury-Wodonga was a growth area at that stage under the Whitlam government. And we went along, and we're still friends with some of the people we met through the Newcomers Club, and I had a really good friend there. I actually ended up secretary of that too, didn't I?
Here's CV, secretary.
Yes, and so we and Sue and I used to volunteer and do Meals on Wheels.
The more lunch arvos.
But we would only do it on a Thursday, because that was the day that the commercial club had a really good smorgasbord on. So we'd do Meals on Wheels, and then we'd go and have lunch at afterwards at the smorgasbord. Yes, but I did that. Actually, I did that for about 18 months, but then I went nursing, and it just didn't fit in with the working full time as a nurse.
Mm. Yeah. There's quite a number of groups that are aimed at seniors, if you don't mind being called a senior. Even here in Perth, there's many organisations, and U3A is just one of them. What made you choose, or what is it about U3A that attracts you?
Well, initially it was because it was going to be something that stimulated the brain. I also like the fact that you don't have to fundraise, because I'm not particularly into fundraising. Did enough of that with PNCs and different things as the kids grew up. But it was I guess it was because a friend of ours helped set up, Joan Colton helped set up U3A in Toronto.
Did you? Did you remember that?
And that sort of, she talked about what it was all about. So I thought, oh, this will be good, something to stimulate the brain.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the aspect of the different talks that are presented each fortnight. They're always a varied program, and so you end up hearing about things that you would never normally hear anything about at all. So we've heard all sorts of things like, what was the one that was really out there that a couple of weeks ago? Was not Joe's talk on New Zealand, although that was nothing like what I expected it to be either, but that was really good. But you can turn up each week and there'll be a topic under discussion that you would otherwise not know anything about at all. And the presenters that we can get from time to time are just amazing, and in terms of what they tell us about and the sorts of things that happen out there. But I think when
Professor Mead is
Bob Mead is just outstanding. He's one of the clueiest guys you could run across. But the things that he presents that are scientifically based, and then he can break them down to the point where my adult mind can follow what's going on is outstanding. Then I managed to get the guy from the Thai,
Craig Challen.
Craig Challen, when I was doing the speakers coordinators role at Rockingham, and I'd heard about him and I thought, yeah, we'll never get him. Anyway, so I just sent an email to him and buggered me. He said, oh yeah, I'd love to come down and talk to you guys. And I thought, Jesus, how are we going to pay for this? And I said, great, what'll it cost us? He said, oh, no, you're a community group, I don't charge community groups. And I said, well, we generally sort of pay our people $50 to cover their travel. He says, I'll donate that to one of his charities. And that was it. So
Smith family.
So that's one aspect of it. I think the other aspect that I find really good about U3A is that it gets people out of their homes and gets them to meet each other and have a chat for a while and gives them something to look forward to every second Friday. And then the other interest groups around the place like Mahjong and whatnot. If you'd told me I was playing Mahjong at my age, I'd have gone, no. But yeah, I enjoy that. And so those sorts of activities, I think, are an essential part of the program that makes it inviting for people. It's not just a cup of tea and a talk. There's other activities.
The cup of tea is important.
The cup of tea is absolutely essential for the people that turn up. We have people there that are on their own. They don't see anybody from week to week, and they really enjoy the afternoon tea. I reckon we could put a traffic cone out there for the talk, and they'd still turn up because they love the cuppa and the camaraderie that comes from that. Absolutely essential.
I must say, I have to agree with you on that. It is something very special that people look forward to.
Yes. We had 27 come along to our Christmas in July last Friday, and the chatter that went on was quite good.
Some of them weren't having U3A, were they?
No, we had some extras there, yes.
You just reminded me, mentioning Christmas. Yes, Christmas in July, I've been there with it and enjoyed it. But I'd mention the real Christmas, if I can call it that you guys prepare and serve your members, U3A members in Rockingham, a full 3-course Christmas lunch in the hall where we meet, with decorations and prizes. And describe briefly, if you can, how you managed to do all that cooking and all that preparation.
It sort of started from the first one that we did was for the anniversary, 30th anniversary. And then when they were talking about Christmas, we'd been going to clubs for Christmas, and it was getting a little bit more expensive. And I thought that people could talk more if they were at the hall, and it's not all that hard to do a baked dinner. because it's easier with quantities and things. You just count the number.
One potato, two potatoes.
Yes, that sort of thing.
Like that.
And that's so we would do the Christmas lunch. The last year and again this year, there's a couple of other ladies that are helping out with making the desserts, which made it so much easier last year because we were only doing the mains. And I got the club to buy, the branch to buy cutlery because don't like using plastic knives and forks. It's too hard to cut things. So we have our own cutlery and we've got our own wine glasses because we have wines as well. And it's a lot less expensive too. We can sort of cater quite inexpensively for a Christmas lunch. And we have no trouble getting a lot of people, usually about 35 to 40 come to Christmas lunch. Whereas we were having trouble getting the numbers for a booking for a restaurant. So, and they sort of sit and chat and it works out. But the committee will help to set up the tables and clean up and everything.
Not just us.
We don't just do it on our own. We have the preparation. The committee help with setting up.
Preparation's the easy part of it because you just turn the kitchen into a commercial kitchen. Peel pumpkins and potatoes and get it all organised and carve up all the hams and whatnot. And
yes, we do that all at home and just take it there.
Take it and warm it up and.
I don't think there's another branch that does this for their group. I think it's quite unique in Rockingham.
Surprised by that?
I think so. Would I be correct? I think, yeah. It is. It's remarkable, and you're quite correct. Yes, it's got more expensive. You get a little handful of people who go, and that togetherness and camaraderie is lost. Doing what you guys do is wonderful.
We just I made up sort of placemats and you just reuse them. We pack it all away. Everyone gets in and helps with there's not as much clean up because there's only really the cutlery. We generally bring the wine glasses home and put through the dishwasher. They're not.
We've got a dishwasher there this year.
Well, we'll see what happens with that.
And they'll get blown everywhere in that thing. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me. You're an easy couple to talk to, and I'm glad we've recognised you as part of Rockingham and the work you do, particularly the voluntary work you do. Well, it's all voluntary, isn't it? So thank you so much for talking with us today.
Our pleasure.
Pleasure.